Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is MJ and I make YouTube videos on all things midlife, including my current weight loss journey being on a GLP1 medication. So if you're interested to find out how I ended the first month of injection, then please stick around. All right, let's get right into it. Week 4, after the awful week 3 I had on the medication, week 4 was actually a pretty decent week for me. I did notice that it felt like the med was not as effective as it had been in previous weeks, especially week 1 and 2. I did find that after day 2 of the injection, I was back to being hungry all the time and that I was starting to get the food noise back. Not so severe that I couldn't override it, but definitely the food noise was back. And I was still feeling, but quite less nauseous after eating or nauseous from from not eating soon enough when I would feel hungry. I was still attempting to fast. When I wake up in the morning, I would get my coffee, and I'm trying to do away with dairy because, as someone who is menopausal, dairy is just really not good for us. So that was the one thing week 4 I decided I was going to attempt to try to do away with. So I normally would have cottage cheese with some fruits, cottage cheese with pineapple in the morning when I would get hungry. I stopped doing that. I'm putting oat milk in my coffee in the morning, whereas in the past I've done just black coffee, but I'm finding that I'm okay to have oat milk in the morning and I wouldn't feel hungry right away from that little bit of calories in my coffee. So, again, after week 3, I decided that I'm strictly going to inject on my belly because injecting elsewhere, specifically week 3 on my outer thigh, that made the injection less effective, I thought, and felt, yes, less side effects, yes, less lethargy, but I still was so grouchy at the fact that unfortunately that also meant that the meds did not work as well as it could have had I injected it where I'm supposed to. So, so long story short, side effects back, but not as severe. The food noise still lessened a little bit more from the previous week, but I did find that my body, I think, was getting a little bit used to the medication because for the most part, the second half of that week, I just felt like I wasn't even on anything. And that's when I knew I was like, uh-oh, like this med really, it's one of those medication that once your body gets used to it, um, your body, starts reacting differently to the medication. So that was, I couldn't wait to be done with that week so that I could up my dosage to 5.0 milligrams or 50 units. So I had a conversation with a representative from my telehealth company, which is Future Health, and I was not allowed to get a refill on the meds until I did blood work, which I really, really love that. I requested to meet with a healthcare provider. Unfortunately, they only said that they couldn't do that because they were super busy, and then the appointment was never scheduled, which made me really grouchy because I'm paying $129 for the subscription, and I thought that meant access to a health provider whenever I needed to speak with someone about what I was going through. I did have to fill out a form asking me questions on how I did on the medication, if I lost any weight, how are my side effects, symptoms, and all of that before they issued me a new prescription for the following month. And again, moving up to 5.0 milligrams or 5 milligrams and 50 units on the syringe. So yeah, if you're interested in finding out how much I pay out of pocket, because I'm paying for this strictly out of pocket, I don't have any portion of it covered by insurance, which it is a lot. And I did tell myself going in that I would give myself 3 months before I decide to either continue or not continue, because it's a lot of money. And although I can afford it, I have had to reshuffle some things in order to be able to afford it. And so, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about that in terms of how much it costs, who do I go with, what are the ins and the outs of getting the medication, I'd love to cover that. So, if you're interested in finding out, please leave a comment below. So, yeah, again, to quickly recap, I I was still experiencing side effects, but less so. The food noise came back a little bit. I was hungrier more than usual. I think it's because my body was getting used to the medication that it was having. It was less effective. Um, but at the end of that week, I managed to drop. I think when I left you, was at 183.6, gaining a pound from third week. So at the end of the fourth week, I got down to 182.2, which is exactly a loss of 4 pounds from my initial weight of 186.2 when I first injected. So that's, again, 4 pounds. Some might think, whoa, that's not a lot. Like, that's not a lot. And I would probably agree with you on that. However, I think because the doctor that I met with prior to getting prescribed the medication did warn me that I might not be able to lose any weight on the medication the first week, because oftentimes some people, they don't even stop dropping weight until they get into the therapeutic dose, which according to Eli Lilly, the company that manufactures the drug, it's not until you get to 7.5 milligrams or 75 units that you will start really seeing the effects of the medication in your body. So the fact that I lost 4 pounds, I think I was really happy with that. Do I wish I dropped more? Absolutely. But can I continue and keep plugging away at my 4 pounds and see where I land after 3 months being on this medication? Absolutely. So yeah, with that said, so far, so good. I feel like I'm very easy with my weight loss. It's not a mental game for me like it has been in the past, because I'm not having to wrestle with my demons when it comes to whether I should eat something or not eat something. When am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? And then the guilt of giving into something if I do have it. I find that because I'm eating less. I'm finding that I'm very mindful now when I make myself a plate for lunch or dinner, that I don't eat as much as I used to in the past. And I'm still eating the same thing outside of doing away with dairy. I haven't really, week 4, I haven't really revamped any of my diet. I'm still eating rice practically with every meal. I'm having bread. Granted, it's whole wheat, Dave's Killer Bread and Bagel. So I'm mindful to like really not have the white bread, but still I'm having bread and rice. I don't do pasta as much, and so I haven't had any pasta. But I haven't really been watching my diet. I'm still having my dark chocolate at the end of practically every meal. I'm eating lots of fruits. I'm eating some veggies, but not as much. I'm mindful to get in my fiber, because again, as a menopausal woman, that's really good for me. And then I'm mindful to get in my proteins. But outside of that, I'm not really on a diet yet. Like, I'm not doing diet food. I haven't completely cut off carbs. And I don't know if I will, but I do know that if I'm going to help my body drop the weight as much as it can on this medication, I might have to tweak my diet a bit. So, recap, my first month was, to me, was a success. I dropped 4 pounds. I felt the most that you can feel on the medication in terms of not having the food noise, not being hungry as often was really good. But with those, I also felt the side effects, the nausea, the being too tired, even after my 3 or 4 mile walk with the dogs, which in the past I could walk the dogs in the morning and I would come home and still kind of power through my day, get some errands done, clean and do some things. But now I'm finding that if I do walk the dogs in the morning, and it's just like a 3 mile walk around our neighborhood, I would be exhausted from that. It would take a little bit for me to get going. And so that part of it, I'm really not liking. I don't like being this tired because I'm a bit of an energizer bunny. I like to be out and about doing things, especially on my summer vacation. And that's just not the case being on this medication. So I'm going to really see the effects of the meds. I think once I go to Hawaii for my solo trip, which is coming up this week, and then I'm hoping that I'm not as tired because I do have an itinerary of all the things I want to do when I'm on vacation. So if you've stuck around this long, hearing me ramble on and on, thank you so much. And if you're thinking of doing the medication, or if you're on it, the main reason why I am documenting myself week to week on the injection is because, one, when I'm on YouTube and I'm looking for things like that, most people that I encounter are people who have already lost the weight and they could kind of like be on top of the mountain saying, look how successful I was, when really for me, what I need is that week to week check-in so I could see whether or not what I'm going through is in alignment with what other people are going through on the meds. So that's the main reason why, because one, I want to document my experience on this meds, and also I want to be of minor help to others who are looking for evidence, or trying to find out, the ins and the outs of the meds week to week. So again, if you've stuck around this long, thank you. Have yourself a great rest of your day, and I will see you very soon. Mahalo. Bye.